Hello, hello, Kyber Cave family. As you can see, we started on time. So some of the people who are always here a few minutes late, which is on time for us, will be a little surprised. Hello, Night Vision. Hello, Raph. How are you this evening? Mezzo is solo for the next 2 or 3 weeks. So we should be on time every week. Hey, Matt Granda, good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Tonight, guys, we have a really fun show. We have our nerdy news. We have our guest, Cassandra Hesseltine. We have so much good stuff coming up. And we also have, guess what, guys? Hey, Ceylon. We have a Saber giveaway tonight. We reached 2,700 subscribers this weekend, and we're like less than 60 away from the next one. Hello, Brent. How are you? Yes, I know that you know Van. You were here last week as well. I remember you from the comments. But I'm Mezzo. It's just me. No Van tonight. He was at a con that was kind of far away, so he was not going to be able to be back tonight. So it's just me. Hello, Shadow Warrior. Thank you so much. We have been working really hard on Grow. Hello, Ignotus. A few years ago, 3 years ago, when I joined the channel in April of 2022, we had 468 subs, and now we're approaching 2,800. So it's really, really cool to kind of see the growth and kind of grow the Kyber Cave family, as we say. We call you KCP fam. Hi, Trinity. How are you? Guys, with the Saber giveaway, here are the rules for it. You just have to comment to enter. You cannot be a KC or KCP employee, which I don't think any of you are. And you cannot have won in the last 6 months. If you have won the last 6 months, we just redraw again, and then you have to pay for shipping, because right now Kyber Cave does not have a storefront. Unless you are relatively local, and then Van may be able to meet you with it. And once you win, you have a week to contact us. You can go to kybercave@gmail.com or kybercaveproductions@gmail.com. You have 1 week to contact us, and if you do not, we will actually be drawing again, and you will no longer be eligible to win that Saber. Now, that means you could still win on the next giveaway, though. That does not, disqualify you from that. So we have our nerdy news to start, guys. We have nerdy news every week. It is if I don't, tell you much about it normally. So nerdy news is a segment that I kind of find a couple news stories, and I try to keep it Star Wars related and tell you a bit about it, and we kind of discuss. We'll just discuss all of you, and myself. Van won't discuss anything, so he doesn't get to have a say this. So, the nerdy news this week. What is the nerdy news this week? First, Darth Vader is now available in Fortnite. The character speaks with AI with James Earl Jones' voice. So Epic Games studio that created Fortnite is using generative AI to recreate James Earl Jones' voice for the recent addition as Darth Vader in the game. His family was consulted about this, and they said, James Earl felt that the voice of Darth Vader was inseparable from the story of Star Wars, and he always wanted fans of all ages to continue to experience it. We hope that this collaboration with Fortnite will allow longtime fans of Darth Vader and new characters to share in the enjoyment of this iconic character. So they were for it because that James Earl felt that people in the future should be able to enjoy Darth Vader's voice, because he felt it was inseparable from it. Now, how do you feel about AI being used? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think it's okay in some circumstances? So let's see. Gough Games. Hi, we just bought 2 Sabers, and it's so cool. We have been playing with them since we left Comic-Con Revolution Ontario. So that is awesome. I'm so glad you got a couple. You have met our owner, our main guy, Van, aka Arc Excala, on the show. I am Mezzo. I am his co-host, director, and video editor for the channel. So it's very nice to meet you. I want to make sure it's a Gothier or Gothier. I don't know if it's specific. If you want to let me know, I like to respect and make sure I pronounce people's names correctly. If you want to know my opinion on AI as a digital artist, I am not a fan of having it being used in any type of like when it comes to certain media, like drawing, VFX, stuff like that. I'm not a big fan of it just hiring AI to replace an artist. I think an artist has a much better perspective. Hello, I'm going to say it wrong. Rebel the Moongazer. That's pretty cool. And there's Van O'Brien in our comments saying he's on the road. Either one is good. Okay, thank you, Gothier. Hi, Duran. Duran, hello. How are you this evening? So if you'd like to check out the article about Darth Vader in Fortnite and use the use of Mr. Jones' voice, you can view it in the article in the description or in the chat. The article was written by Miguel Fernandez of StarWarsNet.com. So that is popping into the chat right now under the KCP account. So you can check that out. The next story, which makes me giggle, is even these Andor stars were creeped out by the series' strangest power couple. Actors Denise Gough and Kyle Soller and the rest of the Andor cast did some press promotion for the second season. Now, while I have not finished this season, it was quick to see the interesting, creepy, but yet also like comedic relationship between the roles of Cyril and Deidre, the Empire officers that found themselves in a relationship. What do you guys, if you've seen the show, what do you guys think of the relationship? Was it creepy, funny, a mix of both? The actors were charming and opened up in their interviews, showing that they also see what we see in this unconventional relationship between these two. This article was written by Ethan Sachs of StarWars.com, so if you'd like to check that out, that's also in the description and also popping into the chat now. And talking about the AI, I think in this case for AI, it's being used to carry on not only an actor's legacy, but a fantastic character with depth as well. Yes, so since when it comes to someone's voice, an actor's appearance or voice, I feel as long as the actor or its family's estate gave permission, then okay, you can do that. You know, that's permission given. If it was against someone's wishes, I don't think it would be okay in the sense that I see. So that is your story for the nerdy news. I hope you guys are enjoying the solo. When I go solo, it feels like I go so incredibly fast. It's hilarious. I don't know why it feels exactly that way. All right. This week, James Kaiser has brought us a very fun flow. Charred Fool has been a flow on our show before. If you don't know what flow is, it is a mesmerizing performance of either fire dancing, saber flow, gloving, anything like that you watch and you're like, that looks cool. And you just can't get over like the really cool movements that they have with it. So please enjoy this week's flow of the show, Charred Fool. All right. So I hope you enjoyed that flow of the show. Charred Fool, you can check out his information in the chat and in the description if you're watching the upload. So every week when he brings us stuff, it's a lot of fun. If you didn't know, James Kaiser is also his own flow artist himself, aka Darth Cephalus on YouTube. So if you want to check him out, you can just go ahead and look up Darth Cephalus. He was also our flow previously on a couple episodes ago, so you can find the link there for his channel. All right, guys, it is time for our guest. I'm really excited to be able to chat with her. She helps runs a festival called Forest Moon Festival, and I went into the website and saw all the pictures and videos sent, and it looks really, really fun. Night Vision, love silhouette and background, nice work. Yeah, Charred Fool had a really cool like area that he shot there, the whole sunset and in the lake. That seemed really cool. Hello, Miss Melissa Phillips. We love your sabers. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. You might have met Van possibly, who is the guy who owns Kyber Cave and Kyber Cave Productions. He's usually my co-host on here, but he was at a convention this weekend and unable to make it back in time, which thankfully I knew about ahead of time. All right, guys. Well, we have our guests coming in, so please give a warm welcome to Cassandra Hesseltine. Hi there. How are you?
Great. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad you're on here. I'm really excited to be able to talk to you some really close about Forest Moon Festival. I was telling people, like you probably just heard in the comments, I was looking at pictures and video, and it really just looks like so much fun. I was like, I need to tell my husband that we're gonna go back to the Redwoods again for a different reason.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's absolutely incredible to be able to have the honor to throw it.
for people in our viewers who are watching but don't quite know what Forest Moon Festival, can you give a short, brief summary on what Forest Moon Festival is?
Absolutely. So we are the lucky ones here in Humboldt and Del Norte counties, or otherwise known as the Redwood Coast, to have the film sites for Andor, which were used in Star Wars: Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, that's really yeah. I was like, it wasn't something I always thought about necessarily growing up. I wasn't like a huge, massive Star Wars fan, but when I went to the Redwoods for the first time, I was like, this looks like that place in Star Wars. And then I actually found out like later on that yeah, parts of it were. So I'm like, oh, that totally makes sense now.
Mhm.
And so my kids who when they learned that once, they actually kind of like ran through and pretended to like be in the movie. Because we were in possibly an area that might have been filmed in it. Don't know if we were in an exact area of any sort. I don't remember when we've gone a few times and we walk, we if you don't know about it, there's a place up the Redwoods, and they call it the Avenue of the Giants, right? And you drive up and you just
Mhm.
pull over and you stop at places and kind of check out. You can do a little bit of hiking or whatnot. I don't remember seeing any type of like plaque anywhere that like mentions Star Wars. Like, hey, Star Wars was shot in this spot or something. But although it wasn't necessarily an extra road that all that we saw in the movie.
Yeah, there's two spots actually I could address that.
Okay.
One is in Humboldt where they do the famous speeder chase scene and the log that's, kind of at a diagonal and they go underneath that. That's all still there. That's Cheatham Grove and that
Oh
log is
wow,
still there. Yeah,
that's
it's pretty
cool.
amazing because we can take people there. We did our first year where we took a whole bunch of stormtroopers and some other costumers for the 40th anniversary and we took photos there. And
Okay,
then
that's
last year
that's great.
yeah, and last year the state parks did a tour. This year, because of budget cuts, unfortunately, they're not going to be able to do the actual tours, but people can still go there and see that. It's really exciting. And then the other area is up in Del Norte County, where they actually filmed part of the village on private land, and then they also
Okay,
filmed a little bit in Jed Smith, which Jedediah Smith State Park. So
okay.
yeah, so and that's where more of like the Ewok village was. Some of the Ewok village where they were up in the trees and then they had some pyrotechnics and explosions and things. They couldn't do that in any of the parks, so they had to do it on private property that was already deemed for logging. So
That makes sense.
yeah, so unfortunately those parts have been logged, but we do have, some of the existing locations. And so yeah, it was
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
special. They didn't film it anywhere else. It's just here. So we get to claim the film sites for Endor. So
Yeah, that's kind of fun. That's kind of fun. I want to
yeah.
say one of the chat. Yeah, the Saber giveaway is tonight at the end of the show, so make sure to stick around. Just you commenting enters you win. Okay, so be patient. When my family has gone to visit the redwoods, it breaks my heart to see ones that you see like a tree that had caught fire before, but
Mhm.
you see how it's kind of you just see like the remnants of it, and you see like the tree growing back sometimes too if it wasn't damaged too much. So I'm glad there's still at least one site, especially that you can the one that's a log you can go to. Is it relatively easy to get to?
Yeah, I mean, you go, from Highway 101, you're going to take out, a little two-lane kind of windy road, but it's doable. And then it's a tiny little parking lot. You'd miss it if you don't
Oh,
pay
okay.
attention. And once you're in the parking lot, it's a pathway. The path is super easy to find. Like you're walking on the pathway and there it is. It's like,
Oh, perfect.
oh, yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. That kind
Yeah,
of thing.
exactly. It was really interesting to take professional costumers there because they've seen a lot,
Oh
they've done a lot,
gosh.
and
Can only
their
imagine.
minds were blown. It was
Yeah,
really
it's
cool.
it's that feeling when I've seen like a lot of actors in interviews talk about like it's one thing to rehearse a scene and stuff, but when they get on set
Yeah.
and especially if it's something real like that, not just a green screen, but something like that's like built around you that's real, it really puts you into that scene, like makes it just that much more real to them.
Yeah.
So what inspired the creation of Forest Moon Festival?
Well,
And you're like, that's a loaded question. There's a lot there.
Yeah. So, well, there was two things. One is I was bored.
Okay.
I
Okay.
was folding laundry. It was raining. I was tired. My mind's always going. And we had made this map about 12 years ago, or redid this map that is in Humboldt and Del Norte, and it's called Map of the Movies. Super cheesy, but it's basically, that's what it is. It's the movies that have filmed in the area. It's a self-guided tour, and there are plaques, like you mentioned,
Okay.
at these places, and it tells you a little bit, a little blurb about it, how to get there. And we realized it's the only movie that filmed both in the two counties we represent, Humboldt and Del Norte, and it's the biggest one, if not, one of, or if not the biggest. And we go, wow, that kind of seems like we should do something with that. And that's when, I was bored folding laundry. It's raining, and I went, what if we do this festival, some type of festival? And this was 12 years ago that we were having this thought, but
Okay.
we were really small at the time, and as far as staff and dollars, we're a nonprofit, where our day job is mostly that we're a film commission, we help productions come here and film, but we also work on film tourism. And especially in the past 5 years, that's really taken off. And so thus the map, we had the map. And when it got closer, like to 2019, we finally went, I think it's time. I think we finally have the resources. I think people are excited. Star Wars was really, the whole package, of it was really making a comeback as far as Disney and television. And we went, we should probably kind of ride this wave. And we had meetings with Eureka and Humboldt County and started talking about Del Norte County. And then 2020 hit, so we had to put a pause on that. And when we came out of the pandemic in, I believe it was 2022, we decided to do a May the 4th event, just a little one day,
Okay.
test run.
Mhm.
And that was really amazing and really well attended, and people loved it. We went, okay, I think we have something here.
It's like, that's great, but like the good problem to have, because now we got to do stuff with it.
That's exactly, you're ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
So we now, are on our third year. I mean, before we even launched year one Forest Moon Festival, we were in the New York Times for it. ARP sent up, a reporter, a photographic journalist, and it was just incredible, the response we got. And, I can't even remember how many customers came, especially it was the 40th anniversary. So,
Yeah.
it was a big one. But last year was really well attended as well, with our customers and our, attendees. And it's just really a fun event because we're a little bit more unique in where we hold it.
Yes. Yeah. It is really cool. Night Vision here wanted to tell you, thank you for creating such an awesome venue.
Oh, thank
So
you.
that's really cool. If you guys want to check out Forest Moon Festival, I actually just posted the link into the chat at forestmoonfestival.org. They also have YouTube videos and a Facebook. I will post those also in the chat. But if you want to check them out now, they are in the description. I pop all the links in the description for every one of our guests that we want to have on, and make sure that viewers can get more information about everyone. I think it's really cool because there's been, especially when COVID happened, everyone wanted something positive, and us nerds like to nerd out. And Star Wars is it's like one of the big ones with cosplay. So many people dressing up as those characters, and any reason to go to a place to wear it. Right, because you're not going to go to the office and wear your Leia, not the slave Leia, but one of the other Leia outfits, or Padme's wedding dress or stuff like that. The really fancy one that a lot of young ladies wear.
There are days though that I want to go as Chewbacca.
Honey, I wake up in the morning before coffee and I sound like Chewbacca. So I'm like, I can't
the hair.
do a Chewbacca impression. Yeah, oh my gosh, the hair. I have very unruly, crazy, but it's actually very curly hair. So I wake up in the morning and I feel like I'm Chewbacca's cousin. I'm like half Wookiee.
Yeah, same. My kids call me that.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty obvious. But can you just also explain who came up with the whatever where the term Forest Moon Festival came from?
Sure. Yeah. We were brainstorming. Okay, well, we have to be respectful and not step on the IP. Plus, I like my house. I don't want to be sued. And, we established a really great relationship with Lucasfilm, and, we really made sure that we were doing all the things right, and to get their permission, and to also have costumers per them, because these are Lucasfilm, approved costumers that do come that come in and do an appearance for us for free, might I add, which is just utterly amazing that they do that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, they pay for their own travel and their expenses, and we can't say thank you enough to them. So they're amazing human beings, and they really make the festival. And so the name came from us trying to be very careful, and
Yes, I can understand that.
not step on their
100%.
IP, but still describe it. And luckily, they describe Andor as the forest moon of Endor, and so we were able to
Use
utilize
yours.
that.
That's
Yeah,
really cool.
yeah,
You always wonder, like, when it comes to naming something, because naming something, it's like it's what's going to be known as, and you got to have like a brainstorming session. And sometimes it's always
yep,
wondering, like, how did that come about? And I also like to make sure that I don't like to get, I don't like copyright issues and stuff like that. And so actually, every song I use in our show is in the description with its licensing info. And I
smart.
was like, I like my house too,
Yeah,
right? Like I don't want to leave. I don't
yeah.
want to lose it.
We trademarked it and we're good. We have, like I said, a really good working relationship with Lucasfilm, and we're
That's
adamant
wonderful.
about, we respect it. It's theirs, but
Yeah, yeah,
we,
100%. You
mhm,
just want to help give a place for the fans of Lucasfilm and Star Wars to kind of congregate and have
mhm,
another wonderful, fun place, an absolutely very unique place to have it.
mhm.
How has the festival evolved since the beginning?
Yeah, it's been amazing, to see, well, the first launch of, let's have, a couple screenings, let's have, some activities during the day for the families, let's, bring the customers up and kind of just experience all of that. And then the second launch last year, we were able to kind of refine that. We had some bigger, activities that happened. And we by then we had a museum as well, so we were able to have an exhibit for Return of the Jedi, or Force Moon exhibit, and our place in it, as well as behind the scenes and crew who had worked on it. So we were able to have that and have a big party in front of the museum and close down the street. So that was a pretty amazing
Wow,
second year activity.
that
And
sounds
then
epic.
yeah, it was amazing. And, we had a Chewbacca, Pat, who's an amazing customer. He comes either as Darth or Chewie, and, all of them, a whole bunch of them that came with, we have a whole droid builder who comes and brings an R2D2. It's just utterly amazing. So that was incredible. And then this year, what has changed is we were like, okay, as we're still honing in on little details of, oh, should we merge these two events together, or how should we do all those things? We thought, on top of cleaning up the festival as you do every year, we thought, let's bring in, some type of uh, celebrity. So we were able to bring in Fanboys, the movie, and then the director, Kyle Newman. So
That's cool.
yeah, I had actually gone home after the festival, and we're all exhausted, so we take a
Yeah. Oh gosh, I can't imagine.
yeah, it's crazy. I'm laying in bed, watching TV, like none of us can move, all staff is, we're just like, oh, we're so tired. It was a lot. And I turn on the TV, and I didn't even like change the channel. I didn't purposely put it on, but what should come on is Fanboys. And I'm like,
That's hilarious.
wait a minute, we should
Wait,
show it.
yep.
All I thought was we should show
Yeah.
the movie as part of the festival. And then Tracy Boyd, one of my creative directors, producers, said we should get Kyle. And so we did. And Kyle's been utterly amazing because he's been connecting us with other people. And one of the other groups that he connected us with is Rebel Force Radio. So we're really excited to have them come, and they're going to actually do a whole podcast at 3 different events. They're going to be interviewing different people in the
Wow.
community.
That's
And
fantastic.
yeah, so we have those two, kind of celebrity type folks coming. So we're excited.
That's wonderful. Yeah, those connections and the relationships, the networking that comes with just the industry that you're in is just it's really cool because you stay connected and you get to nerd out over something together and then just work together. Like that's one of my favorite things is like working together with somebody.
Yeah.
Is always just really cool because there's the stories that you don't hear about when you see actors get interviewed or people get
Mhm.
interviewed, or the things that happen just in those quiet moments, like when you go out to dinner together or something later too, like stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Well, and
That's
to
really
talk
cool.
about that, I definitely could not and do not do this festival by myself. I have a whole team.
Hmm.
We have volunteers, we have community partners. I mean, there is all the out of town costumers. There is so many people who make this happen. And I can't thank them enough, and my staff enough for the long nights and the hard work and creativity that they put into this, because it's a big thing. It's a big to do, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
My very small comparison is just over 2 years ago, Kyber Cave had a KyberCon 3. It was like a little mini convention that was held in this massive like gymnasium room at a local school. And it was one of the reasons it was happening when it was is that we have a friend named John D. Michaels who was in Squid Game, and he is really more in Korean dramas and such like that.
Mhm.
He played one of the VIPs, and he lives in Korea, but he was going to be in the area at that time. And we had 5 weeks to put it on, and I got basically put on as general manager to help plan it, and I had never done such a thing before, but I learned about having a press release and contacting local radio station stuff that I had never done before. And then while I'm there at the convention, I'm like, I got my folder with all my information, and I'm like running around and making sure things are trying to happen.
Yep.
And making sure we had a few celebrities guests, and making sure that they're all happy, and like, and if they needed anything to let me know, that kind of stuff. And so it was a lot of fun, but I can understand that feeling of at the end of the day,
Yeah.
when you get home, you're just spent. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, I remember coming home and I drank a ton of water at the convention, and I go, I have to use the restroom, but I really don't want to get up. Like, I'm done. Like, I don't have the energy just to go to the restroom.
Yeah.
So what role does the local community play in the festival's success? Because I know I'm looking on your website, you got some local press and stuff like that was posting things, but the community itself, what role do they play?
Yeah, you know, it's amazing. We have community partners. So, for instance, we have one of the best farmers market that I've ever been to, and they are incredible about embracing us at a farmers market that's on this plaza in the college town, Arcata. And one of the things they do is they always have like a band that plays during the farmers market. Well, the band that plays that weekend is all singing, you know, Jedi type tunes, you know, and they even dress up in costume and have the little, you know, creatures on them. And so that's utterly amazing. And then they are going to have this time a pop-up tent with a chef cooking some type of samples of food that are Star Wars related.
That makes me hungry.
I know, right?
Yeah, I'm like, a lot of that sounds really good.
Yeah, and then we will be there, obviously, with, you know, our information about the festival, but we also are bringing customers to it because it's free, you know, it's outside event. And then we also will have the podcast there. So they're allowing us to have a tent for the podcasters. They're allowing us and Kyle Newman, and then bring the customers there and kind of basically take over that farmer's market that weekend. And this will be the 3rd year we're doing this. And they're just utterly amazing. So we have a lot of different groups like that do that kind of activities for us, you know, and co-do it. We couldn't do it without them. And then we have brick and mortars, like restaurants that might do, you know, Little Green Man cocktail, and, you know.
Oh, that's so cool. The way you're describing it. So last November, my family and I went to Disney for the first time since Galaxy's Edge was built. And the way you're describing things feels like an extension of it, in a sense. A place that, you know, that was, you know, in the same area that part of a film was filmed at, and you're talking about the food and drinks and stuff. And that's what Galaxy Edge is like a lot of. They give, you know, they have food for sale that's like from the movies and the series, and drinks like blue milk and green milk. You can get those and stuff like that, which I got, and they were tasty. I prefer the blue, but it has a little coconut in it. It's like it's like a Slurpee, very Slurpee is thick, so you can get it really cold, and then the cups are like you can just take them home. They're like nice thicker cups. So that's really, really cool. When it comes to the screenings that you guys do you like it's just screening of Star Wars specifically? Or just screenings of other movies, like the one that you mentioned before?
Yeah, no, we do the first year we did, you know, Return of the Jedi. And then the second year we thought, oh, well, maybe everybody doesn't want to see that again, because it's really amazing. We do it like at the park. Well, one of the screenings, there's several ones that happen all weekend, but one of the main big ones happens next to the Redwoods, and it's pretty stunning. It's not where they film, but it's pretty amazing to watch that sitting next to Redwoods.
Oh, goodness.
So year 2, we thought we would start over and kind of go with, you know, I guess it's considered episode 4. And I'm a Gen Xer, so in my world, it was the first one. And sorry,
I'm an elder millennial, but I 100% agree. So.
Okay, good. I'm about to get in trouble. I can tell. But that we showed that one, and wow, people were like, "No, go back to Return of the Jedi." So we are utterly amazed that we are able to license that, through Criterion, who gets it through Lucasfilm. And we are able to showcase the movie in a few different places throughout the weekend. And they're all free screenings. They're given to the public. You also said, how does the community also participate? They love being part of it. So not just brick and mortars and not just community partners, but just the regular person who loves Star Wars, right? Or adjacent or any part of that. They love the pride and getting to say that they're part of that and coming out for something like this, the quality of life it gives them. So they show up, and that's pretty rad.
That is awesome. Oh my goodness. And Fran said elder millennials unite. Yeah. And it's funny because my husband, No Worry Hammond, that's a friend of mine, he's in chat saying, sorry, I'm late. I had so much laundry. It's such a glamorous life. Like me upstairs right now, I have that chair, the laundry chair that things end up at, and then you have to go through it later. Oh, that's where that sock went. That's where our lost socks go, is the laundry chair. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. Oh gosh, Sage says, do you see any Trekkies attend? Sage is our intern.
Yes. Okay, so very good. We've not only had Trekkies, but we've had Spaceballs.
Oh gosh, may the Schwartz be with you.
Yeah, and we had
awesome.
Somebody in a George Lucas, so like as if he was directing the whole thing. Like people get creative and show up, either like on the adjacent, or they get sassy. It's fun. It's really fun.
That's really cool. You can see like the playful, like
yes.
That oh gosh, what's the word? Between banter when like when people are against each other. Like I can't remember the word for it. I speak English, I swear. Gosh, now I can't remember it. Oh my gosh. I'll probably remember it after the interview's over when we're exhausted but you're watching your show on your bed and I'm watching my show on my bed.
Yeah.
When you think of it, I'll message you on Facebook going, this is the word I was trying to think of. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Sage here who asked a question about Trekkies. He is our intern, y'all. He's going to be actually having a video releasing in 1 hour. So make sure you check that out and give some love. He's doing a Final Fantasy playthrough. All right. So what is the biggest challenge you face when it comes to planning the Forest Moon Festival?
That's a really good question. Again, we're a nonprofit and there's only a couple of us in the office, and then we have a couple of hired independent contractors that work with us. But, budget, in the beginning, because you want to, we don't have a lot of ticketed events, and we don't have necessarily a lot of ways that we would make money to continue to create the events. So right now I'm working off of a lot of grants and funders and sponsorships to help for it. So super grateful to all of that, but I have to chase the dollars, right now until we build that clientele and kind of get it to that place. Plus we want part of it to always be free. First of all, customers can attend, the free portions, but also it's a give back to the community. And, out of town film tourism, people will come, and stay in the hotels, eat in the restaurants. So I don't feel like it has to be necessarily a ticketed event. And especially at a park, it's a lot harder to figure that part out. We also came up with the creative idea that we were going to be in 2 counties and spread out over the weekend. And at the time that we thought of that was amazing.
Yeah.
Execute that is a whole game, So if you got low, you're working for your dollars, you've got only so much time because you also have other projects that we do. And then, we want to elevate the festival every year. That's a lot, to be working with. So that's where we're at. Yeah.
Van O'Brien, our owner here, says, this sounds so much fun that we're thinking of canceling our other show to be here instead.
Oh, man.
Oh, and then Gough here says, do you have a GoFundMe, like when it comes to helping to raise funds to run the Forest?
We haven't gone GoFundMe yet, but, I think at some point that probably will be, an option. We're just trying to get through the next 10 days. So
yeah, I'm actually, I can understand I'm a president of a nonprofit, and sometimes just trying to like keep going so you can pay the bills to like get to the next part that you want to be able to do. It can be really, there's a lot of like juggling to do with that and trying to figure out
Mhm.
what's going to come from where, applying for grants, stuff like that. That
Yes.
can be, and if you don't know what a grant is, it's usually like you apply, you fill out an application, or you kind of do the presentation in a sense to an organization that will give you some money to help make your dreams come true in a sense.
Yeah.
So, and that's always, that's nothing ever for sure. So sometimes it can be, you plan something and you want that to happen, but you may not have the funds for it because you're not 100% certain like something's going to come through or something. So
Exactly.
it can feel like that dangerous sense of, like not like physically dangerous, obviously, but that whole, we want to plan for this to happen. Is it going to happen? Which also
Mhm.
sounds exciting at the same time. This is why we're so exhausted at the end of the day
Yeah.
with it.
Exactly.
There's a lot going on with a nonprofit, and ours is just small. The one that I'm with, there's only 5 of us on the board,
Oh.
and so it's pretty small.
Mhm.
And when it comes to like the budgeting stuff too, that's, as we both know, when it comes to grant, you use it to get money because you can't make things happen sometimes without that. So,
Right.
and it's an unfortunate aspect of any kind of business or nonprofit is that you need money to run things. So,
Mhm.
Gough here says, reach out to me. I have a marketing degree and have tons of ideas.
Ooh.
I love seeing people's businesses thrive. So,
Oh.
Gough here, give me an email at kybercaveproductions@gmail.com. And we can forward the information over to Cassandra here. So,
Wow.
because you have
Thank
a chat.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
let's
you.
make
So
that
sweet.
connection
Yeah,
there.
I would love that. Yeah, because we are like last year, what was really crazy for us, is that, like I said, we're the film commission. So last year we had a movie we had been working on for 5 years, Paul Thomas Anderson, Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, Regina Hall.
I know who those people are.
One battle after another, and it comes out in September. And we worked on that movie for 5 years until it actually came to film. And it filmed in January and into February. And, that's when we'd be planning. So it was, and I was doing like 12, 14-hour days, 7 days a week for like 6 weeks there. I think I did 45 days straight with no day off. The first day off I had was not till noon on my birthday, February, so we never know when we're going to have something like that. So that's also part of, like you said, I could create a plan. Some of it falls through, some of it happens.
Mhm.
And meanwhile, the other part of my job kicks in.
Yeah.
And like you said, we're small. Our board is small, our staff is small, but we know that we have something that really speaks to, fans. We have
Mhm.
something that's super special. Like one of the things I don't think I've mentioned is when I said, our location is unique, not only that it is a film site, but most of it is outdoors and not a convention center.
Yes.
That we've done the structure of it so unique and different. And as hard as that is, it's also pretty special for the fans, whether they're the locals, getting to look at their own area as a reminder, to fall in love
Yeah,
again with it.
absolutely. Like, here's a
Or
couple of pictures for everyone to kind of see. Here,
where's the
you
Cheatham?
can
I
see
mean,
all,
that's the
yep.
speeder Cheatham.
That's the one you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, that's the one you mentioned. I realized it right when I stuck it up there.
Yeah.
That you guys you can all go visit.
Mhm.
There's me before coffee.
Me too.
Yeah, like I was like,
Yep.
and there's like here's some, you can see those great memories that people will have going to the Forest Moon Festival. So you guys want to check that out, make sure you check out the links in the description.
We
The
get
last question,
kids.
okay, go ahead.
No, we've had kids that it just, you see it blow their mind. So the other thing that's really cool about it happening where it happens for our locals is there are, it's a very diverse area, people with all kinds of different funds. Some people can afford to go to Disneyland or travel and
Yeah,
experience
yeah.
that, but there's a lot who can't. And a lot of families, it's 12-hour drive, or a couple planes,
Hmm.
or we do have now one plane that can take you. And it's a lot. So to bring that here, we've had kids say, "Oh my gosh, is this Disneyland? Did you bring us
That's
Disneyland?"
so, oh my heart.
Yeah.
Oh.
We've had I have now a board member who helped out last year, and she was basically in tears with happiness saying, "I have never seen people that happy before, these kids, and I will help
Hmm.
you every year now, help
Yeah,
volunteer at it." So
it just fills
very
your heart with
special.
so much joy seeing kids and even adults who want to remember
Yeah.
being a kid to get again seeing the movies for the first time. Because you there's something about Star Wars, seeing this series, whether it be the film or the TV, that you kind of want to be a part of it when you're a fan.
Mhm.
And this is like one of those ways that people can be a part of it, whether you cosplay or not. So I'm not a cosplayer myself. I accidentally cosplayed as somebody from the TV show Firefly once, and that was an interesting conversation.
Accidentally.
Yeah, I will explain that in a moment. You'll find it quite hilarious, actually. But people who don't even cosplay, it's like you just go there and you feel like you're a part of it. My husband and I went to Disney World for our honeymoon, and I got a kimono from the Japan and Epcot. And we used to go to the anime convention in Southern California every year. And we went like a month after our honeymoon, and I wore my kimono, and I saw a group of people cosplaying as the Firefly cast. And if you haven't seen that show, it's a Joss Whedon show that was on Fox years ago, and they aired it out of order awfully, but it had a cult following with it and everything. And when I walked up to try to take a picture, I didn't notice at first that they were missing the character Kaylee. And so I was like, hey, can I take a picture with you? Take a picture of you guys. And he goes, yes, as long as you stand here for 30 minutes and cosplay as Kaylee, because we don't have one. So I just kind of
really did. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, like it really was like an accidental cosplay in a sense. So I just went and stood with them for 30 minutes and like posed as like Kaylee.
That's incredible.
And it was like a total, I just wanted to wear it because I loved kimonos and I thought it was pretty.
Yeah.
So yeah, now I get love for Firefly in the comments and stuff. And don't forget, you can ask Cassandra here other questions about Forest Moon Festival if you would like, before we sign off in a few minutes for our interview. So yeah, it was just an accident. It was just so funny. And it's one of my fond memories. It was the last anime convention we got to go to. Was it the last one? No, we went on I think a couple more times. I was pregnant the last time we went, and I was like, I'm not going to take a kid to this. J Carnage asks, what's Firefly? Firefly is a sci-fi western type of show and it has Nathan Fillion, Alan Tudyk, who is in the Star Wars universe, y'all. He has played so many characters. He's a great voiceover artist as well. Firefly is space western. That's a good way to play it. Sci-fi western, space western. It is a fun show, 13 episodes and a feature film that was released afterwards. I actually saw the film before I saw the show. And that kind of made things interesting to see it in that backward sense, because there are plot points. I'm like, when did this start? And yes, I agree 100% that episode 4, though, is since it was released order, episode 4 was first, and so my brain just sees that as the first Star Wars. It is the first release order chronologically. Yes, it's not first.
There we go.
Which is fine. And it took forever. Like, I did not know for the longest time that the word canon. You've heard that word before, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I got into a YouTube channel, there's a YouTube channel called New Rock Stars. And that they do like breakdown Easter egg things of Star Wars and Marvel and all that kind of stuff. And I had never heard the word canon before I watched this YouTube channel. And I was like mind blown that there's all these like dive deep storylines. Like Star Wars has a timeline and it goes ABY, BBY, and like all these things that I never ever knew about. And I always thought it was cool. And you all can experience that yourself if you go to forestmoonfestival.org and check it out, because I think that's really, really, I love what you're doing. I absolutely love it. And now I'm like wanting to find when I can go with my kids and my husband, or I'll just go alone.
Yeah.
Come on my own and have a great time.
There you go.
So yeah. Someone said, are you guys going to be at LA Comic-Con? Do you guys ever do like booths anywhere outside?
Van has been amazing at trying to get us to do that. And we wanted to do one in like January in Sacramento. And we unfortunately weren't able to make that because we were dealing with some budget cuts.
Okay.
But that, that is something that we've talked about. If we can figure out how to budget for these kind of things, that would be ideal, is to start.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
We Kyber Cave has had KyberCon 3 and 4. 4 was last year in August. If we have a 5, you guys should just come for like a panel there. We're only 4 hours south of y'all, so.
Yeah.
So not terribly far. So that'd be really cool to like have a booth there and then meet in person.
Yes.
Because the video thing is fun and stuff, but like and it's really great that you can connect with people so far away, like our guest we had that was in Egypt. That was really cool. But like seeing in person's also different. Oh, Van just said Kyber Cave field trip in the comments. Sounds like fun, Van. I haven't driven with you in a car since I think going to May 4th in 2022. I think he had a car at the time that had no front seat. It was
Oh,
like, yeah, it was to make room for all the Saber product because it was low.
oh,
Which is that is like the beginnings of when you have Kyber Cave and or a business itself, and
yeah,
you're just doing whatever you can to make things work. Now they
yeah.
have like a nice big van thing that they use.
Nice, nice.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show and talking to us about Forest Moon Festival and what
Yeah.
it's all about. And I mean, mind blown about how cool a lot of that sounds. It's a mini Disneyland for Star Wars, really. That's
Thank
what it feels
you.
like. It really is. And all the people that you get to have to come visit, whether celebrities or just local community, is really awesome. We're going to share more about that on our Facebook page this week and share the links on there so you guys can make sure to check it out. And thank you so much for coming on. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you enjoyed yourself as much as I enjoyed myself.
Absolutely. And I totally appreciate you having me on here. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
You too. All right. Mwah.
Mwah. All right, guys. I was like bouncing my head to the music. I was like just enjoying the vibe of it. I wanted to make sure to sort of show parts of the video that show the surrounding area and how really, really epic it looks. Thank you for everyone in the comments for the kind messages about Kyber Cave ruling. Great stream. Hit that thumbs up. Yes, hit that thumbs up. Like and subscribe. That sounds like a YouTuber. I'm a real YouTuber now. Like and subscribe. That was a lot of fun. Again, if you guys want to check it out, just look in the description. You'll see the 3 different links for Facebook, YouTube, and their website for Forest Moon Festival. All right, guys, we're going to be moving on to our game, Guess That Character. You guys remember that game, right? And after that is going to be our giveaway. So we will be doing that. We'll be doing that momentarily. Let me just go ahead and get that ready for you. And let me also mention that Sage here in the chat that you saw ask a question. That is our new intern for the show. He has a video coming out at 8:30 p.m. Pacific time tonight. So make sure you check that out and give him a little bit of love. He's our intern for the show. JLJ Carnage, if you're asking if Kyber Cave is going to be at the LA Comic-Con, I don't know. I don't plan the conventions for them. You can actually, if you really want to curious, you can message Kyber Cave on Facebook, or you can email kybercave@gmail.com. Hi, Blind Creative. It's really, really good. How are you? I'm really, really glad to see you. Thank you for popping in. We just finished our interview with a fantastic guest. They have, but to me, feels like a mini Disneyland of Star Wars. And it takes place where like Andor Forest and stuff like that was filmed, which is the Redwoods in California. So that was really cool. We had some really cool information on that. Anyway, so we are going to be doing now our Guess That Character, but let's see if you guys can guess that character. Do you think you can? Because sometimes I make it a little hard, and so we just never really quite know. All right. Who is this? Can you tell me who this is? Let me know. Who is this character? I'm going to be jamming to the music. Raya? I mean, like Ray? Ray Skywalker is what you're thinking, Sage? I love jamming to the music, though. It's a lot of fun. It's my chill, like chill lo-fi. Han Solo. Do you think that's Han Solo, Hammond? Hayden Jarvis? No one's gotten it right so far. No idea for Officer's Uniform. Did I choose a hard one unexpectedly? Who is it, y'all? All right. This one is Rose Tico. So Rose is a female human who served in the Resistance. It's not Leia, no. As a maintenance worker during their conflict with the First Order, Tico had hated since she was a child. It has to do with her sister, right? After Resistance victory at Exegol, Rose was present at... I'm going to turn this music down. It is so incredibly loud in my ears at the moment. Hang on a sec. Okay. After the Resistance's victory at Exegol, Rose was present for the Citizens Fleet celebration at the Resistance base on Asian Cloth. Then she received a large hug from Chewbacca. Who would not love a big hug from Chewbacca? I would love that. You knew it. You knew it, Hammond, and you didn't say it. Come on. All right, next on Guess That Character. Who is this? Who is this? Who do you think this is? Can you guess it? Come on, guys. Let me see. Luke. What's his name? It's a guy. There's a lot of guys, Hammond. There are a lot of guys in Star Wars. Anakin Skywalker. Okay. Luke's uncle. Okay. Lando Calrissian. Interesting. All right. Well, when it comes to who is correct of all these guesses so far, that one with the hair. Fran, sometimes they're easy, sometimes they're hard. It depends. Like the ones that are video game characters, a lot of people struggle with. Kenneth Nelson says Luke Skywalker. Pilot? You think it's a pilot? Okay. Am I throwing you off my reaction? Who knows? Sometimes they're really easy. Like sometimes it's very obvious. Sometimes it's not so much. This is a not so obvious. But JLJ Carnage is correct. It is Owen Lars. So as a human male from the desert planet Tatooine who worked as a moisture farmer, he was the son of Ica and Clegg Lars, and he became the stepbrother of Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker when Clegg married Anakin's mother, Shmi Skywalker. God damn it. In 22 BBY, Shmi was killed by Tusken Raiders and Clegg passed away soon after. Lars married his girlfriend, Beru Whitesun, and they toiled to maintain the homestead. In 0 BBY, Lars and Luke Skywalker purchased the astromech droid R2-D2, who, unbeknownst to them, possessed stolen plans for the Death Star, an Imperial superweapon. Imperial stormtroopers tracked the droid to Lars' homestead, but interrogated and murdered both him and his wife. You were Googling his name, and oh, you thought it was Wedge. Oh, okay. So that is Owen Lars. It's all good. It's all good. It's just what happened. It is all good. I always try to make them a little bit difficult, but fun. So that is Guess That Character for this evening. Now, why does it stop so suddenly? I want it to fade away. It feels so weird too when I turn off the music after a while. It's like silence. There's not silence in my head, but there's silence outside of it. All right, guys, next we're going to be doing our Saber giveaway, but I also remind you that we have a video coming out in less than 45 minutes by our intern Sage. It's a Final Fantasy playthrough, so make sure you check that out. It's not like a full playthrough, but you'll see he's got a series coming up. It comes out tonight at 8:30, but after tonight, it'll come out every Friday evening. So please make sure you share and show some love to him. Now, it is time. Who is ready? Who is ready? Are you ready? I'm ready. We're going to be having, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Yes, we're going to be doing a Saber giveaway. I appreciate all the love. Thank you. Thank you. So we're going to be doing the giveaway in just a moment. Just to remind everybody of the rules. Okay. All of you have commented which Final Fantasy. Sage, you can give an answer to that in the comments over to who asked that question. The rules of the Saber giveaway is once you have commented, right, you're entered in. I see that you're ready, JLJ. You're really ready. You have said it 4 times. So you just have to comment to enter. You can't be an employee of Kyber Cave or Kyber Cave Productions. I'm not eligible to be a winner. Okay. You cannot. You cannot have won the last 6 months. So if you've won a Saber in the last 6 months, you're not eligible to win again. You have to pay shipping if you're unable, like if the van's not able to meet you, have to pay a shipping fee. And you have one, wait. I don't know what you're saying, Hammond. Why wait? I know you're all ready to go. Okay. You have 1 week to contact Kyber Cave. If you do not contact Kyber Cave within a week, you are no longer eligible for that saber. You can contact Kyber Cave in several different ways. You can go to Facebook and message them on their Facebook page. You can message them on Gmail, kybercave@gmail.com. And if you message the Kyber Cave Productions email or messenger on Facebook, we will forward that message over to Kyber Cave to help you out there. Final Fantasy 1. That's what I thought it was, Sage. So to play through Final Fantasy 1. All right, guys. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. No, Bernadette, I'm not sure if I clicked it right before or after you jumped in. The winner is David Areola. You have won a saber. That is exciting. I haven't seen your name in a few minutes, and so I'm not sure if you're still here. Yes, Hammond. So congratulations, David. Please contact Kyber Cave at kybercave@gmail.com or on their Facebook page. That is the best way to get started to receive your saber. There you are. Yay! That's awesome. Congratulations. Yay. You can keep that little screenshot of your name saved forever. Just remind back to So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in this evening. Make sure you also check out our show Retro Alcove, which is on Monday evenings by Graveyard, another host on our channel. Metso here will be on her own. I'm sorry, JLJ. We are getting close to another giveaway already, though, you guys. Van has been working so incredibly hard. If I give you an update really quick, we only have 64 more subs. Not even. Wait, hang on. 54 more subs until the next giveaway. So, guys, it'll happen sooner than you think. Yes, it's easier to email kybercave@gmail.com. That is the easiest place to get in touch with Kyber Cave. And just say, I am the winner, and say your name, and they'll just like, okay, cool. And they'll start taking care of it. So that's awesome. Yeah, congratulations. The next one will be sooner than you think. So don't worry, JLJ, and those who were bummed out about not winning this time. We have them usually about once a month at least. No necessary, easier to Gmail. What? Van? CG of Pasadena Comic-Con next. Awesome. No, not necessarily. Well, you could do Gmail or Facebook Messenger. Both of those are the ones that work. So, you go by what Van says, okay? Because Van's the one who's running Kyber Cave. If he thinks it's easier to use Facebook Messenger, then go on to Kyber Cave Facebook and message their Facebook page. If you don't have a Facebook, then you can use the email. So, or you can do both. There you go. You just say, "Hey, I messaged both." You bought Revan's. Is it Darth Revan's saber from you guys earlier? Happier to get another. That's awesome! Yay! Even if I didn't win, I had a great experience watching this live stream. JLJ, I am so incredibly happy to hear that. Thank you so much. I try to make, even when I'm solo, I try to make it fun. So thank you guys so much again for tuning in. Make sure you check out our other shows, and I will be solo the next couple of weeks, I believe. And then I am actually going to be gone June 8th and 15th. June 8th is my anniversary trip, and the following week I will be in Mexico helping build a house. If you guys remember, I was gone last year for the same thing. All right, guys, you have a lovely evening, and I will catch you all later. Is that a single saber? Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Completely forgot to show you the actual saber. Here's the saber that was for the giveaway. I think it was just one saber, Darth Revan's. This is the saber that you won tonight, David. Thank you, Duran. Have a wonderful evening. Everyone have a lovely night. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will catch you guys next week. We have Jennifer Kellums on our show. She's a voiceover artist and fantastic. So make sure you check that out. You can actually go see some of her information, the links and stuff. It's already scheduled for next weekend on the YouTube channel. So you can actually go to our YouTube channel and see her information in the description. So it's really cool. All right, guys, have a lovely evening. Catch you later. Bye.